Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are having a look at another vehicle on the Hornet Sting dev server, and this time it is for the CLOVIS. The CLOVIS is a new light tank which is coming in not just for Germany, but it's also coming in to France in the premium section of both tech trees. The major difference between them is the camouflages, and that's literally it. So you can see it in the French tech tree right here at 8.0. This version is going to be a GE vehicle, so you'll be able to purchase it when the update comes out. And then for Germany, this is actually a pre-order vehicle, so you can purchase it now on PC, and when it comes to the consoles, you'll be able to purchase it near when the update comes out. If you do want to purchase this thing, I'll leave a link in the description and also a pinned comment, so you can get a discount on it if you want to get it in the game. Now, the CLOVIS itself, in the German tech tree, you'll find it right here at rank 5, and you'll find that it's the same BR as the DF105. The DF105 is coming to the French tree as well, just to kind of let you know, and the CLOVIS is very similar to it. The difference between the DF105 and the CLOVIS is just better at the same BR. The DF105 gets access to the 105mm CN105-57. It also gets 4 smoke grenades and also a coaxial 7.62mm FN Mag 6040. The good old CLOVIS gets access to the CM105G1 cannon, which is very similar, but it also gets a 20mm coaxial and double the amount of smoke grenades. So if you are looking for kind of a quote-unquote pay-to-win vehicle, that's what this is. It's just a better version of the standard tech tree version of the vehicle. The armor profile on the CLOVIS is a little bit weird. Basically, you have the Marder chassis, which, as we all know, this upper glacis likes bouncing a lot of stuff randomly, but it's not exactly well armored. Autocannons and pretty much everything else will go through it. The turrets is also not very well armored, only 32mm across the front, and also 20mm on the side, and 20 on the back. You also have 11mm in the booty as well, which isn't going to make too much of a difference. But the whole point of this vehicle is you're supposed to shoot first. There isn't a lot of like tanking or anything like that. Your survivability comes from people ricocheting shots off this and then also just screwing up shots and you hitting first. So one of the things that's most important with this type of vehicle is the targeting speed and also the stability of the gun. Now, the CLOVIS, with this 105mm CM105, it doesn't have a stabilizer, right? But that doesn't mean the gun isn't stable. Does that make sense? So it could be more stable, but it's pretty stable for a non-stabilized gun. And also, the other thing that this vehicle gets access to is a autoloader. And this basically means that even if you cock up one shot, you only have to wait 5 seconds to be able to fire the next one. If you compare this to other vehicles that are around the BR, like the M48A2, if you cock up a shot, you at most have to wait 8.7 seconds or 6.7 with an ace crew. So no matter what happens, the CLOVIS is out reloading you. It also has an autoloader with 12 pieces of ammunition. You can carry 38 pieces of ammunition if you want to, but generally I think maybe 20, 25 would be well enough with this one. I don't think you need to take more. And then also you have the coaxial 20mm, which has 500 rounds attached to it and also should be pretty fun to use. I'm pretty sure that this is a fixed gun as well. You can see that there's probably not a ton of maneuverability with it, so therefore it'll have the same kind of elevation and stuff as the standard gun, and that, won't be as good at dealing with helicopters as other 20mm, like the ones on the French MBTs. For mobility, this thing has the good old 720 horsepower engine, which is very good for a 30-ton vehicle, and also an amazing transmission, which is why stuff like the DF105 and Marders are very fun to play. You can just shoot, scoot, and go crazy around the place, and this transmission is the reason. This also kind of gives you additional armor to survive with, so if people shoot you in the kind of hull, you have this 5mm of rolled homogeneous, but also rounds do get stuck on this transmission and also engine, because a lot of people are using heat around this BR or APDS, which doesn't have as great post-pen capabilities. So that's where some of the survivability of this thing comes from too. It does have a 3-man crew, so you have 2 in the turret and then also 1 in the driver's port. The commander does have fire controls, so you have to be careful if you take out the gunner because it can still fire back. And if you pop the turret, this thing also pops. So yeah, as I said, just don't get shot. I know it sounds really weird, but that's basically how you play this thing. It also has a weird vertical aiming drive on the side of it, and then also the FCS. It has a fully modeled kind of turret basket, and also the auto loader system and the power system. So it'll be a lot less survivable than other vehicles that don't have those systems. You can see here with the DF105, it doesn't have its updated DM yet. It will eventually get the updated DM, but right now, this is kind of where it's stuck at. So the CLOVIS will technically be less survivable than the DF105, but that's just because they haven't updated the DF105 yet. Once they update it, then it will be fine to go. So this 105mm has access to a heat shell. They've added this new stat card. By the way, don't listen to the penetration statistics on the heat shells. For some reason, it's not giving the right ones. You can see that this thing penetrates 400mm overall, but if you look at the bottom, it's like, oh, it only pens 5. Don't worry, this thing has 400mm of pen, of cumulative jet attack, and it does obviously do quite a lot of damage post-penetration. You do have to aim for ammo and stuff like that, which is generally what you do with this gun. But with that reload, you're able to as well. You have the HE, then you also have a smoke shell. So mainly you'd just be using the heat and not anything else. You also have all the modifications for free, since this is a premium vehicle, and also you have some pretty good rewards, if I'm honest, 606 and 480 to be able to grind out efficiently up to rank 6 for Germany and also for France with this vehicle. So just to show you the camouflages, because generally, you know, they look pretty good, but I've got to be honest, it's not really like that different than what you see in other areas. Of course, the winter deforming camouflage is one of my favorites, and one of the funny things about the French Clovis is they basically just took it and then added the French camos, but also just added the stock kind of like French flag that you have in the game, which is this one, and then just stuck it on the hull of the vehicle. So yeah, literally that's just what it is. So just so you know, it's the French one and not the German one. You just have to look for that little French flag on the front, which definitely can't get bushed up or anything like that. But yeah, both of them have, you know, the standard camos around this kind of era for the two nations, and I think overall, like, you can't be mad at that. So the only thing I'm personally mad at with this vehicle is the fact that it's the same BR as the DF105, and it's just better than it. And that to me is kind of annoying. One of the things I should have shown is the penetration on the 20mm actually, because I know that's, you know, something that people are interested in. So the 20mm has HVAP, which means it pens up to 57mm, which will be quite nice against a lot of lighter targets in the game. So he'll be able to go through a lot of them, very similar to the Term, which has a kind of similar setup as it. So this gun, as I said, even though it's not stable, it's pretty stable. You can see even up to like 20 kilometers an hour, it's really not hard if you're on stable ground to be able to keep the gun on target. Like this is it's at like 20 and you can still accurately get nice shots with it, right? So that's something to mention about this. The other one is obviously the heat shell. It's going to get stuck on things. So against Soviet vehicles, that good old fuel tank in the front is going to eat damage. But because you have access to a very good reload, you can just continue to bop shots as you go. There's no rangefinder on this thing. There's no real NVDs on this thing or anything like that. But with the 20mm, you'll be able to at least do some damage. You can see against lighter targets like this Shilka, you can go through, you can kill it. And then just to kind of show you the elevation of this 20mm, that's it, because it follows the turret. It's basically kind of a similar oscillating turret, right? So you're not going to have crazy abilities to, you know, push the turret up. And then also the gun depression is pretty nice though, so at least you have that. But don't rely on this 20mm to keep you alive in specific situations against a lot of CAS. It's more going to be designed for, okay, I've hurt this target, I'm going to hit his barrel, or I'm going to hit his tracks to therefore stop him moving, and then kind of go from there. Or, as I said, to machine gun lighter targets to be able to take them out very easily. So is this going to be a good premium? Yes, it's going to be a very good premium. It's going to be incredibly fun to play. If you have ever played the DF105, you know how strong these types of vehicles are, and you know how much they can just dominate the battlefield with the mobility, with the general gun, and then also at the same time with the ability to use smoke and then move to the next area, use your artillery, and then also just get involved in the battle over and over again. And even if you mismatch, like let's say you get fully up-tiered, it's all good. You have scouting, so you can help your team out and also get closer to those nukes with the SP points. You also have the airstrike ability, which means that you can bring CAS along with it very effectively too, and that is something that's going to be really nice. You can see here though, the 20mm can't really pen too much, but it's all good. You have a nice gun to sort it out too. Even has some shell ejection, which is quite cool. Lovely stuff. So, as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.